Minister, the Right Honourable, le très honorable Mark Carney.
Mon Dieu. Wow.
My goodness.
That is a hard act to follow. Thank you, Sonia. Thank you, Victor, for all the service to Canadian sport, to global sport. And may Jonathan David be the first Canadian to ever touch that trophy in a year's time. Son Excellence, le Gouverneur Général, Son Altesse,
His Excellency, His Highness, the Duke of Edinburgh, Sonia, the Minister of Fun, or rather the Minister of Identity and Culture. He's the Minister for Fun, obviously. And thank you to all the invited guests and artists who are with us here today. But especially, thank you all.
What a crowd, what a capital, what a country! Only two words. Only two words. Oh, Canada. Oh, Canada. You know, there is no place I'd rather be right now than here, the true North, strong and free, celebrating Canada Day with all of you. I've had the privilege the last 6 months of crisscrossing our country. I've had to go visit some other countries for work, and I have never been prouder to say, I am Canadian. Nous sommes Canadiens, Canadiens.
We are Canadian.
And I'm particularly proud that in a world that's fraught with division, that we, under the maple leaf, have considered our options, and we've decided not to pull apart and fight, but to come together and to build. Because that's the Canadian way. That's what this country has done. Similar times when there's been these big inflection points in history, Canadians have chosen to come together and to step up. À la crête du Vimy pendant la Première Guerre mondiale,
on the battlegrounds of Vimy Ridge during the First World War, on the beaches of Normandy during the Second World War, in the houses of Gander after the terrorist attack on September the 11th.
We find ourselves in a situation where the world is being convulsed. We find ourselves in a situation where our economy is being attacked by a trade war that we didn't start. We find ourselves in a situation where our values are being tested by attacks on democracy and freedoms, attacks that we must resist. And once again, as the world becomes more divided and dangerous, Canadians are uniting. We're united. We're uniting and we're putting our values into action. Notre réponse est de bâtir
Our response is to build a strong Canada. This is what we're doing with Bill C-5. That was just passed by a large majority of MPs in the Parliament.
Is a new national building permit that allows us, indeed, it compels us to come together and to build, baby, build. To build our nation in full partnership with Indigenous peoples. To build, and thank you, Nathan and Victoria, for honoring us here today. There you are, yes. Together, we will build one Canadian economy connected by major projects, powered by Canadian energy, transformed by Canadian technology, and crafted by Canadian workers. Together, we will break down barriers so that you can buy Canadian anywhere. and you can work in Canada everywhere. Ouais. Ensemble.
Together, we will rebuild, rearm, and reinvest in our armed forces. Yes. This is crucial. We want Canadian leadership to not only be defined by the strength of our values, but also by the value of our strength. Together, we are taking over the control of our future.
Together, we're writing our own story, not having it dictated to us by others. And Stephen, I like your idea. We have the fusion of Deadpool and Dune. We get Rain City Ryan into 007. This is Canada. Nothing could be better. Your Royal Highness, as you alluded to a few weeks ago in a historic throne speech, your brother King Charles told Canadians, and I quote, "We must be clear-eyed. The world is a more dangerous and uncertain place than at any point since the Second World War. And Canada is facing challenges that are unprecedented in our lifetimes." The King went on to stress that at this hinge moment in history, there is, and I quote, "an incredible opportunity for renewal, an opportunity to think big and act bigger." And that is how Canada carved out the St. Lawrence Seaway in 5 short years. Et c'est comment nous avons organisé
And
l'Expo
that's how we
67
organized Expo 67
en 4 ans et demi.
in 4.5 years.
It's time once again to harness the same industrious spirit, to do things we previously thought impossible at speeds not seen for generations. So it's time that we build twice as many homes using Canadian technology, Canadian skilled workers, and Canadian lumber. It's time to build new trade and energy corridors with reliable partners. In partnership with the provinces, the territories, and Indigenous peoples.
It's time to create hundreds of thousands of good jobs in skilled trades. And it's time to make Canada an energy superpower for energy that are green and traditional.
It's time to make our companies more competitive while we're fighting climate change. You know, not far from here, over a century ago, Thomas D'Arcy McGee eloquently put it that Canadians are at their best when we lift ourselves to the level of our destinies. Now, Canada is already the greatest country in the world. But our destiny is to make it greater still. And greatness isn't defined by words, it's achieved by actions. Greatness isn't something we just say, it's what we do for ourselves, but particularly for others. So, while we work to build the strongest economy in the G7, we know that that isn't an end in itself. But it's the way, it's the means through which all Canadians can live in security, in dignity, and in harmony. And while we enjoy this Canada Day with our friends and family, and I have to say, Sandra, we are off to a great start here. While we enjoy this Canada Day with friends and family, we remember that Too many Canadians are still struggling and suffering. Alors que nous profitons nos parcs
As
et
we
de nos
enjoy
lacs,
our parks
nous
and our
n'oublions
lakes, we cannot forget
climatique qui brûle
climate change that is burning down our forests and destroying biodiversity.
And while we enjoy peace and security at home, we witness the wars and terrors abroad. After 158 years, Canadians have accomplished so much in times of peace and war, in our laboratories and in our galleries, on the ice and in the swimming pool, on our land and in space, in our classrooms, our boardrooms, our community centers. We have so much to celebrate, and today we celebrate. But we also know that we have much more to accomplish. We are a country that is great because, in part, we know we can be even better. We're a country that does things because they're right, not because they're easy. A people that see kindness as a virtue, not a weakness. And now's the time to build a Canada worthy of those values, a Canada worthy of its great people, a Canada for all and for all time. Merci beaucoup. Vive le Canada!